Hello, 225. I'm ready to say hi to whoever logs on. Today I'm going to be reading chapter 3 and 4 from Snitch. Today is Friday, March 20th. This is the last day of official school, although there's actually no kids at school. All the parents and families are playing safe and keeping their kids home now. So next week, officially, there will be no school, so no coming to school. Hey, Tony, how's it going? I knew you'd tune in. So I'm going to read chapters 3 and 4 from this. Every day I'm trying to improve the website a little bit more and make it a little bit better. There's somebody over here, I don't know.
Just me. Hi, guys. We are missing you a little bit.
A lot. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from Snitch now. I think where we left off, I think our main character's name was Josh, and he's got some anger management issues, or at least something happened with some kid named, what was the other boy's name? Scott or something, I think. And so he's got his dog Sully now that he has to try to train. So chapter 3. So how was it? Andrew said. He was waiting for me out in the parking lot. He had come directly from work. His main job was shift manager at a video store. He still had on his store t-shirt. He had a second job delivering newspapers. He did that between 3:30 and 5:30 in the morning. What do you think? I said. I got into the car and slammed the door. I had spent half an hour with that stupid dog. Most of the time, Scott was right there with me because it turned out, of course, that my dog had more problems than any of the other dogs in the program. Yeah, but dogs, Andrew said. That should be fun, right? Remember when you were little? You always wanted a dog. I'd been mad, too, that I had never got one. My dad always said they were more trouble than kids, and kids were trouble enough. The only kind of animal my dad liked was fish at the end of his fishing line. My main memory of my dad is going fishing with him, hauling in a fish and dropping it into the bottom of his old boat and bashing its brains in with the weighted wooden fish basher he called a priest. My dad was calm and happy when he was in his boat with some beer and some bait, and because he was happy, I was happy. After Andrew figured out that I didn't want to talk about the program, he put on some music. I closed my eyes and pretended to sleep until we got home. The whole building smelled like food, even the elevator. I could pick out the smell of onions and garlic and curry and chicken. Some people think it stinks, especially the curry smell, but not me. Those smells always make my mouth water. When the elevator opened on the 8th floor, where Andrew's apartment is, Daryl Matheson pushed his way in while Andrew and I were trying to get out. Daryl lives at the opposite end of the hall from Andrew. Andrew doesn't like him. He says guys like Daryl, who spend all their time just hanging around, are on their way to nowhere, probably via the prison system. Daryl smirked at me when I stepped around him to get out of the elevator. You got the worst stuff I ever saw, he said. Nothing even worth stealing. I couldn't figure out what he was talking about until I saw what was sitting in the hall outside Andrew's apartment door. It was a wooden crate with my name painted on the side. Hey, I said. I'd had that crate forever. My dad had made it for me and had stenciled my name on it. It was heaped high with my stuff, clothes and CDs and a bunch of my other things. What's this doing out here? Andrew unlocked the apartment door. I scooped up the crate and followed him inside. Miranda was standing in the kitchen, a magazine open on the counter in front of her. Great. She was going to try another recipe. She was always trying new recipes, most of them vegetarian, and they were always terrible. What was my stuff doing out in the hall? I said. You're lucky the baby's been cranky all day, Miranda said. Otherwise, it would be out back by the dumpster. I told you, Josh, you can't leave your stuff lying all over the living room. That's where I watch TV. That's where the baby plays. Yeah, but geez, it's my stuff. You can't just... Miranda reached into the box and pulled out my penknife. The baby had this in its mouth, she said. She reached in again. And yesterday I found him pounding on the new table with this. She held up the wood priest, which she preferred to call a fish club. She always made a sour face when she saw it. She thought it was barbaric to club fish. The priest had my initials on it. Well, really, they were my dad's initials, but his name was Jack, so his initials were the same as mine. Andrew shook his head when he saw it. What do you even have that thing for? He said.
It's calling.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Beckman. Is there homework for Raiden McDougal?
I'm going to phone his mom and I'll tell.
Well, he's here.
Okay, I'll be down in 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Raiden's mom's here. So I'll have to go deal with that in a couple minutes. I'm going to finish reading this chapter. I'll only do chapter 3 today instead of both, so she's not waiting too long. Andrew made a sour face. If he'd given it to me, I'd have burned it a long time ago, he said. I'd have burned anything he gave me, even $1,000 bills. He looked at the priest again. I can't believe they gave that back to you. I had to practically beg my youth worker, who finally managed to get it returned. I told him it was the only thing I had of my dad's. If it were me, said Andrew. He stopped when I gave him a sharp look. What do you mean, Miranda said. She had been engaged to Andrew at the time, so she knew I'd been in trouble, but she didn't know all the details. Nothing, I said. Nothing, okay? So I wonder if when Josh did that bad thing, he used that priest, that club for hitting the fish. I don't know. That's what I'm guessing from this. And stay away from my stuff, Miranda, unless you want to find a box of your things out in the hall. Come on, Josh, Andrew said, trying to calm me down. Then the baby started wailing. I think he's cutting another tooth, Miranda said. He's been crying all day. Go pick him up, Andrew. She did that a lot too, bossed Andrew around, told him, do this, do that, as soon as he got home from work. He never argued. He went into the living room where a playpen was crammed in between the sofa and the dining table. The baby yowled even louder when Andrew picked him up. Miranda turned to me. This is my place, Josh. I don't want it messy, and I don't want the baby picking up things he shouldn't. You understand me? I opened the fridge. Stay out of there, she said. We're going to have supper soon. I reached inside for a piece of leftover chicken. Andrew went along with the vegetarian stuff, but he still insisted on meat once in a while. Miranda grabbed it out of my hand and shut the fridge door. I mean it, Josh. She was always saying that. You're going to have to wait. In the other room, the baby was still yowling. Geez, what a place. That night, I heard Andrew and Miranda talking. If you ask me, Miranda planned it that way. She didn't even bother keeping her voice down. He can't stay here forever, she said. He's rude. He never helps out. That's not true, Andrew said. He's great with Digby. I think Digby's the baby, right? When he wants to be, which isn't very often. I love you, Andrew, and I know you feel responsible for Josh, but it's just not working out. I expected Andrew to cave into her like he always did, but instead he argued with her. He told her he was responsible for me. He told her that as soon as I finished the program, I was going to get a job and start to pay my own way. He told her I was trying hard to change. Then it got quiet. It didn't surprise me. Miranda was one of those people who clammed up when she didn't get her own way. The bedroom door opened. Josh, Andrew said, his voice low. I pretended to be asleep. I heard him go into the kitchen. A little later, I heard the apartment door close and then close again. In the bedroom, the baby started to cry. So I'll stop there. That's the end of chapter 3. I want to go help Raiden's mom right now. So I'll read chapter 4 to you guys next week. Okay? Thanks for tuning in, Tony. If anybody else tunes in, Alex, Sunny, Dantel, Zach, hello. For the rest of you, I'm going to make a phone call home and just let your families know about the website. So hopefully you're catching up on some of these videos later. Okay, bye-bye.
How many more?